The 7 Enlightenment Factors. Again, bhikkhus. A bhikkhu dwells contemplating phenomena in terms of the 7 Enlightenment Factors. And how, bhikkhus, does a bhikkhu dwell contemplating phenomena in terms of the 7 Enlightenment Factors? Here, bhikkhus, when there is the mindfulness enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is a mindfulness enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no mindfulness enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no mindfulness enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen mindfulness enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen mindfulness enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is a discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is a discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen discrimination of phenomena enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is an energy enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is an energy enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no energy enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no energy enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen energy enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen energy enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is a rapture enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is a rapture enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no rapture enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no rapture enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen rapture enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen rapture enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is a tranquility enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there's a tranquility enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no tranquility enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no tranquility enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen tranquility enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen tranquility enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is a concentration enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is a concentration enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no concentration enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no concentration enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen concentration enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen concentration enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. When there is the equanimity enlightenment factor in him, a bhikkhu understands there is an equanimity enlightenment factor in me. Or when there's no equanimity enlightenment factor in him, he understands there's no equanimity enlightenment factor in me. And he also understands how the unarisen equanimity enlightenment factor arises, and how the arisen equanimity enlightenment factor comes to fulfillment by development. In this way, he dwells contemplating phenomena internally, or he dwells contemplating phenomena externally, or he dwells contemplating phenomena both internally and externally, or else he dwells contemplating in phenomena its nature of arising, or he dwells contemplating in phenomena its nature of vanishing, or he dwells contemplating in phenomena its nature of both arising and vanishing, or else mindfulness that they are phenomena is simply established in him to the extent necessary for bare knowledge and repeated mindfulness, and he dwells independent, not clinging to anything in the world. That is how a bhikkhu dwells contemplating phenomena in terms of the seven enlightenment factors.